Welcome to season 21, episode 1 of Hockey Prospect Radio on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Partner with the ECAC Hockey, leaders in hockey on and off the ice. Learn more at ecachockey.com. Once again, happy to bring on at the start of the season Doug Christiansen, commissioner of the ECAC. Doug, thank you very much for coming on this show. We really appreciate it.
Great to be on, Shane. Excited to kick off the season.
Absolutely. So let's get into what ECAC hockey potentially could look like this year. Every year there's new players coming in, there's new coaches coming in, there's always a different dynamic, there's always different storylines. From your perspective, from men's hockey, from women's hockey, how has the summer changed your viewpoint of what the season could look like? Because you could sort of anticipate what the season could be, and then the players and the coaches play this out, and we get to sit back and watch it all unfold.
Sure. Well, obviously for us, I mean, in college hockey with the transfer portal, rosters change. But the one thing that everybody knows is a turnover in goaltending, regardless of what level you're at. And our league on the men's side has a significant amount of new goalies, and how those goalies wind up stepping up is going to impact some of the success of the seasons. On our women's side, of course, we've had another fantastic year. And on both sides, we did very well in the transfer portal in terms of retaining players. That doesn't mean every single student athlete is going to come back to school. I think that everybody knows that there's going to be a movement of players for a variety of reasons. But we feel very comfortable that we're doing a great job on our campuses and in our locker rooms. And that's panned out in terms of the players staying. And I think in terms of the men's side, you look at obviously Casey Jones stepping up and taking over for longtime coach Mike Schaefer, who went back-to-back NCAA tournaments and won the ECAC championship 2 years in a row. Rand Pecknold's team at Quinnipiac is returning some high-level players, and I think he feels very good about his team. And then, of course, Clarkson had a really nice year last year. And of course, Union and Dartmouth have matched up in the playoffs the last couple of years. And don't be afraid of Harvard. They've been lurking for the last couple seasons. I think they returned some players. So to me, I think you look at the league, there's lots of great parity on the men's side. The women's side is an absolute gauntlet. We'll have, I think we had 7 of the top 15 teams in the country in the preseason poll. That's just picking up exactly where we left off. We've had multiple teams, of course, in 4 teams in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. So hopefully we'll have another great year on the women's side, and I think the men's side will have a nice year as well too.
The significant thing that I've noticed, particularly over the last couple of years, is because the PWHL came into existence and again they've expanded and that league is growing. The number of women hockey players that are flooding into that league, and then your representation of a league just keeps getting expanded inside of that. Because every time a broadcaster says this player is from this university, it it amazes me the number of players that are coming out of the ECAC that are filtered throughout this roster, and not just players. You have coaches and management as well.
No question. I mean, we've had the number 1 overall pick the last 2 years. The last 2 years, we've had the majority of first round picks in comparison with the entire world, not just any other conference. So for us, our top players are being recognized and earning those opportunities. And I also think that the leadership throughout the PWHL for general managers as well. And so for us, we feel really good about the opportunities for players to come into our league, play great hockey as a team, as we just discussed, and then be able to develop individually and go on and have success at the pro level, I think is fantastic. And we'll look forward to seeing where those chips fall this winter when we get to the Olympics and see how many of our players are representing both the United States, Canada, and other countries.
From a recruiting standpoint, marketing standpoint, how much do you think the success of the PWHL and the number of ECAC alumni, how much does that help your coaches when they're sitting in the living rooms of parents saying, look, it's not just that you're going to get a great education and you're going to play really high level hockey, but there is opportunities after you're done.
No
And
question. I mean, they're going to have a life-changing degree. And the coaches don't have to say, hey, trust me, this is what it's going to look like in the future. They can point directly to the things that have happened and be able to say, you could be next. And you know what? If you're a shutdown defenseman and you're the best shutdown defenseman in the world, and you want the opportunity to develop and grow as a player, well, if you get to go against the number one overall pick the last 2 years, you would have developed and been in those key situations, late in games, late in periods, killing penalties against those high level players. So those things are those challenges players respond to, families respond to. And of course, we're seeing that in terms of the development of the players. And of course, as we said before, they get a life changing degree and they can go on and play professional hockey after.
Oh, I'd like to get your thoughts. You're going into your third year as commissioner in the ECAC. Have you had a chance? I know you have a busy schedule, but the opportunity to sit back and reflect not only what has transpired over your 2 seasons, but then what does that look like as you're planning for the future? Because you have to look at what happened in the past, look what happened, be present now, and look at 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year plans down the road. Have you had the chance to take a breath and really take a look at how it's changed you as a leader of the ECAC, but also, what direction ECAC hockey is going in?
I have. I think, and that's a great question. Thanks for asking. I think, this summer and then in certain things that I do in terms of just my process. Like, for example, I don't sign up for the Wi Fi on planes because it's a time where I know no one's going to call me. If I have the Wi Fi, people are going to text me or I'm going to have a desire to text. It doesn't give me the time just to sit and think about what needs to get done. What are the areas we want to improve? What are the things that we're doing well? We've had a lot of growth the last 2 years. I was really fortunate. Steve Hagwell, my predecessor, who'd been there for nearly 2 decades, laid a really nice foundation for me, and I continue to reap those rewards. But we really spent a lot of time focusing on the branding of our league, the growth of our league, talking about how great our league is. And I think that has resonated with the student athletes. I think it's resonated with the coaches. I think it's resonated with the administrators. And the best evidence of it is with our fans. The last 2 years for the men's championship, we've had outstanding crowds and revenue, and the women have been the best in nearly 2 decades. And so for us, the fans are gravitating, the coaches and players are gravitating to it. So the messages that we're putting out, I think, are starting to land. And I think now it's really a matter of us taking the foundation, taking the things that we've changed, going out and implementing it in a really changing landscape. Everything from the CHL to the NCAA to the transfer portal and all of the things that come along with that. Having a solid foundation and knowing who we are is imperative to have success in this environment.
Quick question before I have to let you go about the CHL and the players now being eligible to play in college hockey. We can look at that situation and say, okay, it's an opportunity for student athletes and more opportunity for student athletes to come and play college hockey. But at the end of the day, I think all of us can agree upon we don't know what the future is going to look like entirely because there's always unintended consequences, whether it's positive or negative. So we're just trying to navigate this unknown landscape to a degree and do what's best for the players and for obviously for the programs. Thoughts on does that keep you up at night trying to figure out, okay, how is this going to play out?
Of course, but I think a couple things. Number one, competition is really good. We in college hockey are going to do an excellent job developing players. The resources are there, the opportunities are there. The really logical things about developing a player to not only go on and play pro hockey, but in life is moving away from home, moving out of billets, transitioning to being on your own with all of the different things that come along with that, being surrounded by people who are motivated, potentially bigger, faster, stronger, and going through that adversity. I think that those things are natural. And in the ECAC, we talk about it from a coaching point of view. Everybody's coaching Rolodex got bigger. Everybody got the ability to be able, if you're great in Toronto or you're great in the Maritimes, you've got more players now at the ability to talk to. And I think that that's fantastic. And these players are going to make college more skilled. Our league is going to benefit from it. We hope that as we wind up continuing to educate fans on the process to get to high level academic schools and play hockey and be able to go on and play in the NHL, that's going to be an absolute fantastic thing for us in the ECAC. And I know our coaches are excited about the challenge. I know that we're all looking forward to seeing this first fall and the impacts of college hockey. But we see it with Gavin McKenna. We see it with high level players coming. That's going to continue. And I think college hockey is going to continue to get better and better. And we in the ECAC are really excited about the opportunities ahead.
Doug, want to thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate great insight. Good luck throughout the season, and hope to see you at the rink soon.
Thanks, Shane.
We're going to take a short break on Hockey Prospect Radio. Stay tuned, and we'll be back right after these messages.